Ben Muchemi, entrepreneur, but in this instance, event director of the Safari Rally 2013. Welcome to the JSO interview.
Thank you, John.
I think I could have added another title, and that is that you are the chairman of the Sports Stadia Management Board. Tell us more.
Yes, I'm the current chairman of the Stadium Management Board, which literally means in charge of managing the stadium's facilities that we have in this country and now. And in the future, the Stadium Management Board will become Sports Kenya Authority, which will manage literally all the sports in this country.
Right, we wish you well.
Thank you.
Now, the history books, when they're written, will note that the 61st Safari Rally was flagged off on Friday, the 5th of July, 2013, and that the event director was none other than one Ben Muchemi. So you will enter the history books in that regard, but take us back down memory lane.
John, to say the truth, the memory lane is not only used to be a religion in this country, but the memory lane of Safari takes nostalgia and takes people into things like when we were young and there was nothing else to do over Easter that we had to do it. Since the colonial days when it started the colonization, 1953 rally with Cecil, who used to be Bwana Safari, who passed on, God, rest his soul, eternal peace, recently.
The coronation rally.
The coronation rally.
Yes, yes.
And every settler and everybody else would put their contraption together. And the vehicles they used to do in the farms and everything, the Volkswagens, the Fords, and anything that could move, and probably a few tractors were also added in the process because there were no roads, literally. And from then onwards, it has grown in leaps and bounds, and it became the Easter holiday, rather than people going for Passover and coming, everything else. Everybody knew that when Easter comes, we all head up to the mountains, the valleys, and everything else. Literally, most of the people never saw anything at all. We just to see at night, we just see the cars flashing, and of course the newspapers. It's not like today. Everybody would carry a newspaper with a scorecard. And all the radios, the VOK that time, will go even over, stretch itself, then cross down at midnight, the way it normally used to do. The
VOK being the voice of Kenya,
which is
Kenya. Today's KBC, the Kenya Broadcasting
Yes,
Corporation.
they will go the whole night to make sure that they broadcast what was happening. The newspapers, I hope Star was there at that time, it would have been working overnight. And we used to make sure that everybody knew which driver was doing what, Chekameta, Order Guard, name them, Kakunen, anybody who was who in those days in the rally, including our famous Rede Maduri and Boya, and Shuka, Patrick Giros of this world, and everybody else. And this used to be one of the biggest foreign income earners in this country, as well as Blood Kenya, more than anything else.
Right, I'm glad that you say used to be. Well, I'm not glad, because it used to be the East African Safari Rally and took us to Uganda and Tanzania. So surely we've gone a great leap backward in the sense, why did the other countries pull out?
Yeah, what transpired is when the East African community died, everybody started pulling in their own way. And of course, Kenya used to be the main beneficiary of everybody. People used to stay here, they will drive to Uganda and come back here, they go to Tanzania and come back here. So we are talking about the tourism, the visitors, the foreign exchange used to run here. And of course, we were not a very good envy of our neighbors for that. So they started pulling out when Idi Amin came and said they could not go to their country. And of course, in general, with his Jamaa things also started his own thing. So we ended up having our own rally within Kenya, still East African Safari, but it was still only going through our own land, and Uganda was the last place it went, and back here. And it really pulled a lot of development, all moving forward very fast backward.
Right, so are you suggesting that nowadays, if that there is a Uganda rally, a separate one, and a Tanzania. Do the other countries have their own rallies?
Yes, they all have. The Uganda have the Pearl of Africa, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the Uganda and Tanzania have got their own. They call sometimes Nane rally or ARC rally that goes there. So they have their own thing. We have our own little safari rally here.
Yes.
And everybody does what they have to do for their own benefits.
Right. Let's go back specifically to you as event director. This is the 61st edition. We are 50 this year, so that's significant.
The Jubilee.
The Jubilee.
Yeah.
This is the Jubilee Safari Rally. Tell us about what it has taken for you. What does one do as event director?
Then you are Bonadawa. You have to fix Mr. Fix-It. You have to be the back edge with you. And
why? I don't know why the buck. Surely, I'm not belittling your station,
yes.
But if you know a route,
yeah.
if you know wataenda Mombasa, alafu kisha waende Voi, alafu you sped up the route, and then you put some just checkpoints, and then people enter. What could be easier than that?
I'm smiling because I wish you know what it takes.
Well, I'm
to set up a route
yes.
alone takes over a month. You have to go through every pembo, every ditch, every cow on the road, every Maasai standing on the roadside, every rock, and put them in a notebook form. And then you get the tourists to read everybody to see where you're going. You have to get what we call the itinerary, that the car will leave a certain position to a certain position in that period. You have to know if you have, like we have 83 cars.
So you're suggesting that every year, for those of us who don't know, every year the route changes. It's not the same route as you had last year for the 60th edition and the 59th and the 58th going backward.
You know what happens is the road may be the same. The route between here and Kajiado may be the same. But between that you have had El Nino, which took away the bridges. Between that you'll have the government has come with the CDF and maybe tarmac the road that you used last time. And you don't want to use a tarmac road. So to tell you the truth, nothing is the same. Even on Monday, the roads the cars are using, if the local guy who has been driving it goes through it, is going to go through a different, because the cars will shimper the whole place,
right,
and
right.
Right, left, and center, you have pieces of tires all left over the place. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, so understood.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going back to the organization. So you're managing a team of how many people?
Literally, we have about 600 personnel.
Right, 600 people. And what are the 600 people doing?
Yeah, for example, we have about a team of about 6 people who have come from FIA. We have the observer, we have the chairman of the stewards, we have a scrutineer who has flown all the way from Geneva. They have another 3 guys who have come from South Africa to come and check whether we obey to the rules and regulation. The rally is run under something we call FIA licenses.
So explain FIA. F stands for?
Federation of International Automobiles Society,
right.
who licensed us to do anything. Even your driving license is from FIA. They are the ones who license the government to do that. You know, it's an association. So with that license, we are only people mandated to manage anything that is called motor and plus rally. So they have to come and see what we are doing with their licenses. And this year we are in a big fix because we have to do it right. And I am the guy who is answerable to everything that goes well, and unfortunately anything that goes not well. So,
but you have experience. I mean, you're not only the event director. At some point, you have rallied. I dare believe for the last 25, 26 years.
Yeah, it's true. I've been in the rally circuit for that long, and that gives me a minus, because I can notice all the things that can go wrong when I'm sitting on the car. So as an event director, I know what I used to complain about. So I know what my fellow drivers require and what they expect of me.
Somebody suggested to me that rallying, what you do and have done, is just a rich people's sport, and these rich people want to show off.
Yeah, actually,
is that a
that's the wrong
definition
notion. It's no longer a current cowboy business anymore. We have a lot of people who have come up the rally circuit to our local indigenous Kenyans.
I guess they're rich. The word rich still pertains.
Not really, because
a rich people's sport.
What we've done now, we have been able to open up the requirement and reduce the stringent rules that will only allow you to come up with a certain, what we call homologated vehicle, which means it must be a few years between licenses falling vacant. So we have some locally marketed vehicles. We have what we call special vehicles. You can cut off your Subaru and make it into a pickup and use Rob Magic or whatever shocks that you have around, contraptions, old tires, and you as long as you have the safety properly done. Which is, so
you're saying it's become more wananchi friendly?
Yeah, actually, in this particular 61st, I'm very proud to say that over half of the field is indigenous Kenyans and proper Kenyans who believe they're Kenyans, whether green, yellow, blue, or white.